Despite a challenging year 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Umeme continues to connect Ugandans with electricity with an aim of achieving the sustainable development goals of ensuring that most Ugandans are connected to the national grid. In 2019, government had announced a plan of connecting citizens to the national power grid, but this had been halted in the early 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But according to the spokesperson of Umeme, Peter Kauju, the sector has gotten an approval from government to begin connecting people on the power grid.
Availing connections. You remember government had announced a program of free connections. Unfortunately, due to COVID and all the other challenges, this was suspended, it was put on hold. So right now, we also got clearance to connect people who are able to fund their connections up to 100%. So we are ensuring availability of resources and material to ensure that we are able to connect people who need power installations. So this is going well, and we believe that even this year we're going to continue to do that. So that
Oju, who was exclusively speaking to Channel 44 TV in his office in Kampala, confirms that also Umeme's focus this year is to ensure safety for the members of the public, but also their staff, so as no life is lost, and this will be done through sensitization campaigns.
Continuing this year, and we are focusing on safety. Safety here comes number one, not only for staff, but also for the public. We don't want anybody to die on our lines. So we are continuing to invest in awareness to ensure that people get to know that if you're not authorized, then you do not come near the electricity lines, except when you are. Otherwise, we have lost some lives, which we want to avoid. And so we're investing heavily in sensitization of the public to ensure that that happens.
Kauju here also encourages members of the public always to use qualified technicians while connecting their houses, with an aim of avoiding unnecessary power shortages, among others.
Remind people that electricity kills, and so they should be aware and keep away, especially if they are unauthorized. Also, when you're making installations, especially for people who are wiring their houses, we want you to use or hire services of qualified technicians. Otherwise, you might risk your life, you might risk your property. So we will continue to bring about awareness and engage the community to ensure that all this goes well.
Umeme is also continuing in investing in reliability, which includes replacing broken poles and also adopting a new usage of concrete poles nationwide, as he explains further.
Continuing to invest in reliability. That is why we are putting new lines, replacing broken poles. We are also removing poles poles that we used to use, and now adopting the technology of concrete poles. This is going to help us in terms of reliability.
Kauju says this time around they are going to ensure that they invest in ICT nationwide with an aim of having services brought closer to the people, so as they don't waste their time walking to any Umeme office.
In ICT, so that we take service in the hands of the customers. Other than us coming, like we used to inconvenience people those days and those years, where they would come, you have not paid, they remove the service cable, they go with it for 2 weeks and all that. So most of the services are now online. That's why we have the prepaid meters, they're commonly known as YAKA. So people are able to plan consumption of their power and how much power they need, so that everything you need is done digitally. You do not have to walk to any of our offices.
But have all things done online.